Thank you for joining me, Sunshine Yogis. Today's practice is going to be a little bit shorter and one designed to help us to stretch and tone our bodies when maybe we don't have a lot of time and we just need to get back to our mats and kind of reconnect with our breath and our bodies. Always remember to do what feels good for you and right and true in your body. So listen and honor, and have a block nearby if you find that helpful. We'll begin seated in the center of our mats, just to draw some awareness to our breath and to bring ourselves to practice. So join me there, please. Take whatever form of seat feels comfortable for you. If you'd like to prop up, it can always be nice to help give the hips a little lift, but whatever feels natural. I have a block nearby. I may use it later, but for now, I'm just going to sit with my ankles lined up one another and try to relax my knees down and sit nice and tall. Give yourself a moment to let the sit bones ground. And from the base of the tailbone, feel yourself lift up nice and tall through the spine. Relax the shoulders down, give a little lift to the crown of the head, a little extra lengthening, and feel when you do that, feel the back of your neck getting long as well. Place your hands wherever it feels comfortable on your knees, or maybe turn the palms up. You could also just place them in your lap, whatever feels comfortable. And over the next few breaths, just ease your eyes closed and allow yourself to welcome yourself to your mat. So for many of us, this takes a moment or two where we just need to kind of shift our energy and our gears and our focus, bringing our energy back and in, and kind of reclaiming it. We spend so much time sending our energy out into the world on a daily basis. And so when we come to our mats, it's an opportunity to just draw that energy back and in, kind of bringing us back to center. As you do this, just naturally let your focus begin to shift towards your breath. As you begin to notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. And just begin to appreciate your breath. Really enjoy the beauty of that breath in, bringing you oxygen and renewing your body with that oxygen. As you breathe out, just enjoy that sensation of kind of letting something go. Maybe attaching the thought of awareness as you breathe in, breathing in awareness. Here I am sitting, here I am breathing. And then maybe attaching the thought of letting go as you breathe out. Just kind of letting go of any resistance. Breathing in awareness. And breathing out that sense of letting go. Now you can keep your eyes closed, or if you need to, ease them open. Maybe if you keep them closed, you can just easily follow my cues. We're going to take our hands and wrap them around our outer rib cage. So your elbows are going to point out to the side, your thumb will be back behind you, and your fingers are going to wrap around the front part of your ribs. And as you breathe in, see if you can feel that expansion of the rib cage from side to side, forward and back. And as you breathe out, notice the contraction as the ribs draw in towards center and the belly button draws towards the spine. Breathing in, let's breathe in and out through our nose if we aren't already. Feel the expansion. Breathing out, feel the contraction. Just a few more rounds like this, really getting in touch with the physicality of our breath. How our body changes with that ebb and flow, in and out, expansion, contraction. And notice how this also helps us to really ground into our bodies, to really find our minds anchoring into our breath, anchoring into our bodily sensation of breathing, and how that ultimately brings us into the present moment, free of other distractions. We are here, breathing, observing, witnessing our bodies, our mind, and our breath all coming together. And this is yoga, that union of all of those beautiful energies. Good, let's do one more big breath in, expand. And this time, open your mouth, exhale it out as you contract. Good, let's ease the eyes open. We're going to take our hands behind us. Fingertips are going to point towards our back of our hips, and unwind your feet and bring them wider than your mat. Toes pointing forward, maybe slightly angled. And we're just going to start to windshield wiper our knees from side to side. So getting right into our hips, trying to do a nice stretch here, whether it's first thing in the morning, or it could be afternoon and you've been sitting and you need to just kind of get the stiffness out, or even before bed, right? This is a really nice way to just gently get the rotation moving internally, externally of our big hip joints. And then the next time you come to the right side, go ahead and drop the knees down and create a 90-degree angle with both of your legs. So your knee lines up with your hip and your ankle lines up with your knee, both sides. And then lean back on that right hand, take your left hand to your left outer hip, and we're just gonna press that hip forward. So internally rotating here, you can keep your hand on your hip or drop it back behind you and wrap that left shoulder back. So you should feel really nice lengthening along that left side. Try to soften the knees, open up the chest. You can stay here. This is a beautiful opener. Or if you'd like to add a twist, you're going to walk your hands back behind you and square the hands in line with the shoulders. You can stay upright here and you'll feel this. Or if you'd like to explore going deeper, try to come down on your forearms. Keeping your legs stable, you're adding an additional twist right through the spine and the center of your body. Try to breathe here, but note how the breath is a little bit more challenged when we're in a twist. So even more of an opportunity to breathe with awareness. Noticing that sensation as we're kind of wringing out the muscles along the length of the spine. Good, one more breath in. And then on the exhale, if you have twisted, bring yourself upright and then roll yourself back to center. Knees will come up through the midline and then over to the left. Let's make that same 90-90 on this side. Dropping into your left hand, take that right hand to the right outer hip and just gently press it forward, encouraging that internal rotation here. And this side may feel completely different from the other side. It does for me, most definitely. Maybe take that right hand now back behind you. Just wrap that right shoulder back. Lift your chest and feel that lengthening along the right side. So sweet, so good. Stay here if you'd like, or if you'd like to go deeper, let's try the twist. Bring the hands back behind you. Square them off, shoulder width distance apart. Stay upright, really feel into your body. Maybe this is where you need to land, or explore coming down and seeing if that feels appropriate. Wherever you are, listen to your body and breathe. Notice how the breath has to travel through that twist in the spine. Try to keep it smooth and even. Really connecting all of your movement, your awareness to your breath. Good, one more deep breath in. If you're in the twist, bring your palms to the mat, lift yourself up, and let's unwind back to center. Extend your right leg long. We're going to slide the sole of the left foot inside that right inner thigh. Flex your right toes back towards you. We're going to just slide our right hand out along the length of our shin and grab onto whatever feels comfortable. Maybe your ankle, your shin, maybe even your toes. If none of that feels comfortable, you could take your block and just place your forearm down on the inner part of your leg. So find something that you can kind of reach for. We want to draw those toes back, anchor our sit bones down evenly, especially that left side, and then begin to float the left arm up and overhead. Having a nice stretch in our side. So our side muscles and fascia and connective tissue get really constricted and contracted when we sit, right? You can picture that everything just kind of goes. So this is a really lovely stretch if that's where you've been, or even after you've been asleep for 8 hours or more. This is really nice to do to just open up that side body. You can stay here, or for those of you who'd like to add a half bind, lift your hand up, turn the palm towards the back wall, and then just bend at the elbow and bring the back of the hand to the sacrum, or see if you can even find your right hip crease. Wrapping that left shoulder back and adding a chest opener here. Feels really sweet. If you'd like to layer on even more, and I always do, you can add a little movement for your neck. So as you breathe in, see if you can turn your chin up towards the sky. And then as you breathe out, you're going to turn your chin, gaze down at your knee. Just like that, maybe a couple of times, inhaling, lifting the chin, noticing the stretch in the neck. And then as you exhale, look down, notice how that stretch kind of moves. So you could be doing this with your arm up and overhead if you'd like. Any variation. You could do all or none of it, whatever feels good to you. Last time you look down at your knee, slowly release your bind and take that left hand to the outside of your left hip. We're going to use the right arm to kind of sweep us up onto our left shin. Extend through the right toes pointed as you straighten that right leg. Lean into your left hand and just let your right arm float up and overhead. Engage your glutes and press your hips forward. A nice stretch here. And then just make big circles with your top arm. We're just going to get into our shoulder joint here. Circling in either direction because we're going to go in both. Relax your head. Try to let the tension go in your neck. So let that head be heavy. Good. And then we'll gently bring ourselves down and switch sides. Taking that left leg out. My little Shavasana puppy, deep in sleep here. I have to scoot over on the mat. He loves a good yoga session. And then the same thing on this side. Slide your left hand down, looking for your shin, your ankle, or your toes. Actively draw your toes back and make sure your kneecap and your toes are pointing straight up. Alternative is to use the block and just rest your forearm there. Whatever feels good to you on this side, let's go there. So it's natural for that right sit bone and hip to want to pop up, ground it down, get even on the sit bones, and then bring the right arm up and overhead for that beautiful side stretch. Notice if you can kind of, in your mind's eye, picture how we were breathing with our hands on the rib cage, and can you do that same expansion of your breath side to side here, opening up, breathing into the back of your left leg, big stretch there. And then adding the half bind if you'd like, left arm up, palm faces back. Bend at the elbow, find the sacrum or your hip crease, and add that little extra half bind, wrapping that right shoulder back, excuse me. Oh, big opening across the collarbones. And then if you'd like to layer on that Beautiful stretch for the neck. Let's inhale the chin up towards the sky. And then exhaling, turn the chin towards your knee. Good, again, inhale, we move with breath. We move with intention. Exhale to look down. And one more, remembering that you could just have your arm overhead and still be doing this. Good, and then releasing our bind, we'll take that right hand outside of the right hip, coming up onto that right shin as we sweep that left arm up and overhead. Point your left toes away from you, get a nice long line through that left leg. Lean into your right hand, and now give your glutes a good squeeze, press them forward. Feel that delicious stretch in your psoas muscle deep in the front of your hip, hip flexor. And then add on those nice circles all the way around. Being grateful for that mobility that you have in your shoulder. Oh, that wonderful ball and socket joint, allowing us to do so many things. Good, and then bring yourself gently down. Nice. All right, let's bring the feet together. And we're just gonna use our hands to prop ourselves up onto our toes. So I'll turn slightly to the side so you can see where I'm going. My heels are lifted and I am balancing my sit bone on my toes. We are toning and stretching our toes and our ankles here. Now see if you can open your knees wide. You can use your fingertips to balance. You can even take your block here if it's helpful. This is going to give us more of a stretch in our inner leg line. See if you can stack your shoulders over your hips, get nice and tall. And for those of you who'd like to play with balance, bring one hand and possibly the other to meet in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. Now expect to feel a lot of wobbles and wiggles. I can't even say that because I'm wiggling and wobbling, but that's part of the practice, right? We're toning, we're strengthening, we're bringing awareness into our foundation. Beautiful. Find a focal point, and then we'll bring the hands down either to a block or to the mat and just slowly release. Coming down onto the shins, you'll let the knees drop forward, bring your legs together, and just take a seat on your heels. Let's stretch out those hips a little bit more. So take your hands back behind you. Again, fingertips are going to face your sit bones. And then roll the shoulders back, engage your shoulder blades on your back a little bit here. And as you press into your fingertips, start to tuck the tailbone and lift the hips, pushing them forward. Shoulder blades again meeting together on the back. Give a good squeeze to your glutes, breathe in. On the exhale, slowly take it down. Now we'll alternate from side to side. This time lean into your left hand. As you breathe in, lift your right. Stretch and lean back. Exhale to come down. Switch sides. Inhale, left arm up as you lean into the right. Press the hips forward. Exhale to come on down. One more each side. Right arm up. Squeeze the glutes. Bring it down on the exhale. And other side, left arm up. Squeeze and lift. And gently bring it down. Really nice, everyone. Okay, let's do a little more strengthening of the toes, and then we'll come into the shoulders a little bit as well. So come forward to tuck the toes. We're going to sit on them one more time. Toes pose. Try to tuck that little pinky toe under as well. If at any point this doesn't feel good, please come on to the tops of the feet, or you can even sit on your block. We'll interlace our hands together and then press the palms forward. So you want to keep your arms in line with your shoulder, pressing the palms away. Feel a nice stretch in the shoulder blades on your back. They're protracting here. Take a breath in, tuck your chin towards your chest, and then breathe out as you push the palms further away. Now inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. We're just isolating through the shoulders. We're not lifting them up. We're letting this all happen from our shoulder socket. Exhale, round. Good, one more time. Inhale, rotating through the shoulder socket, bring the arms up and overhead. And this time as you exhale, we're gonna drop the left elbow and lift the right. And that elbow's dropping back behind you. Feel a tug in opposite directions of your elbows, a nice opening for your tricep muscle here. And then up, pressing the palms towards the sky, opposite side, right elbow drops, left elbow lifts. Hello, triceps. Nice stretch here. And then just glide the elbows from side to side. So back and forth. Try to move with some ease here, some fluidity. But notice if it's choppy or if you can bring that sense of smoothness into your movement, side to side. Really nice way to wake up our shoulders. Good. And then release. Let's come off of our toes. Give them a little tap here. Nice work. And then I'm going to just spin around. We'll come on to all fours in our tabletop position. So bring your wrist directly below your shoulders. Fan your fingers out nice and wide. And stack your knees underneath your hips. As you breathe in, let's find cow pose. Lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, and then lifting the crown of the head. Exhale, we're going to round chin to chest. Again, shoulders protract here. And take it all the way back to your heels. So bringing it into child's, a little flow like this. So as we inhale, we'll come up, extend the spine into cow pose, lifting the heart, drawing it through the shoulders. Exhale, press the earth away, round, and then take that rounded spine all the way back, hips to heels. Good, a couple more like that. Inhale, rise up. Open into your cow pose, lifting the heart and the tailbone. Exhaling, rounding, press the mat away, and keeping that tucked tailbone. Bring it all the way back to the heels. Let's do one more. Inhale. Extend the spine. Exhale, flex and round, and all the way back. Child's pose. Reach your fingertips all the way forward. Settle your torso onto the thighs and relax the hips back and down. Beautiful. All right, let's come into a little more of a toning and strengthening. We'll come back up into tabletop and lower down onto your forearms. Make a tripod with your hands. So interlace your fingers here. Setting up with our shoulders over our elbows. And our elbows as wide as our shoulders. Tuck the toes under and then pressing into your feet, engage your legs and lift your tailbone high. And walk your feet in a little bit closer for dolphin pose. Now press actively through your forearms to draw your shoulders away from your ears to keep lifting here. Big stretch through the hamstrings. And a real toning and conditioning of our shoulders. Let's go ahead and bend one knee and then the other, kind of walking it out here. Good job, guys. And then come to stillness. Let's lift the right leg. So toes point down, lift through the heel. And then bend the knee and let's open up the hip. So we're opening the hips to the right side. You can roll out your ankle up top here. Beautiful. Let's re-extend the leg, square the hips, bring it on down. Switch sides. Lift through the left heel, toes point down. Bend the knee, open the hip on this side. Feel free to roll out the ankle a little bit. Nice. Re-extend, square it off, and bring it down. Good, look forward. Walk your toes back, find your forearm plank. We'll just be here for a breath or two. Engage your belly, lift it in and up. Engage your thighs, keep them lifting up. Engage your heels, press them away. Draw your tailbone to your heels, breathe in. On the exhale, slowly bring it down. Good work. I'm sure your heart rate went up on that, mine did.
And that's great, you know, yoga is good for that as well. Let's stretch out our shoulders. So take your left arm out at a diagonal. You're gonna lower all the way down. You're gonna reach that arm away from you. Now tent your right fingertips and bring your elbow to stack over your right wrist. Turn your gaze to the right and press into your fingertips and roll onto your left hip as you stack your right over your left. Maybe those right toes drop down behind you. What you really want to feel is a big stretch in front of your left shoulder. So maybe you need to walk your fingertips a little further away. Maybe you need to bring it out more in a T shape rather than at a diagonal. But for me, this stretch is more effective when it's at the diagonal. You will feel something here, guaranteed. Breathe into it. Your body's really, really appreciating this. Your shoulders are saying thank you. This is a pose we need to do pretty regularly since we spend so much time on our devices. It's that whole forward slump, and this pose will counteract that. Good. Slowly roll out of this. Bring the front of the hips to the mat. And then we'll gently switch sides, extending that right arm out at a diagonal. Turn your gaze to the left. Tense your left fingertips, stack the elbow over the wrist, and then roll onto that right hip, bringing your left hip on top. Maybe those left toes drop down behind you. Find any adjustments you need to really be in this pose. Good time to practice breath work. Good time to close the eyes, maybe go a little deeper. Guaranteed you will feel something. And then the sensation is good, right? It brings us deeper awareness into our body. It connects us to it. We can find some gratitude, give thanks to our body for all that it does. Beautiful. All right, let's slowly, slowly, slowly roll our way back and onto our bellies. Slide your hands alongside your outer ribs, bring the elbows in and press back one more time to your child's pose. Round the forehead down, just notice how you feel. Good, really nice. Now untuck the toes, and then we'll go ahead and slide our hands back to reach for our heels. Let me come forward so you can see me. Bring the crown of the head onto the mat. So your nose is going to be between your knees here. You're going to roll onto the crown of the head as you grab onto your heels and you lift your hips. This is called rabbit pose. It's a beautiful stretch for your back. Try not to jam anything up here. Rather, think about lengthening from your tailbone to the very base of your skull, the entire length of your spine. Really tugging onto your heels and lifting your hips up, hollowing out your belly. One more beautiful breath in. And then exhale to soften and release back. Just let the backs of the hands rest onto the mat. Relax the front of the shoulders. Breathe into your back body. Beautiful. All right, let's roll up onto our shins. And we'll come back onto hands and knees. We're going to step our right foot to the outside of our right hand. And then our left foot to the outside of our left hand. So I will turn to face you. This is a wide stance and our toes are turned out. My elbows are inside my inner knees and I'm going to drop my tailbone down for Malasana or Garland pose. Press your palms together, and as you do so, press your elbows into your inner knees and drop down. This is a good place to use a block if you need the support. You can always take a seat on it, and that takes some of the effort and the tension out if you need that little assist. It does feel really good, and if you're new to the pose, it could be just what you need.
So this is a big hip opener. It's also really nice for opening up the low back. Stay and breathe in this position as best you can. Maybe a little rock from side to side if the movement feels good. Maybe even closing your eyes and just dropping in. Think long spine here. Pressing those knees open. Getting into our hips. Hips hold a lot of emotional content, things that we don't necessarily want to address. So think of this as a little moment to do some housekeeping and sweep some of those things away. Good. Now, fingertips to the mat. We're going to lean into our right side. Lift that right heel and just extend your left leg all the way out, dropping into the heel and pulling your toes back towards you. This is Skandasana pose. Now, again, we're toning our toes, our ankles. We're getting a good stretch on our inner leg line here. Same thing, we could use the block to lift us up. This could be our point of departure for playing with balance, lifting one hand and then the other. Entirely up to you. Your hands could be on the floor. Notice the wiggle wobbles. They're there. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and just turn ourselves towards the top of the mat. So your right knee is forward. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Walk your right foot over and make sure your knee is directly over your ankle. So find that 90 degrees. Press the left heel back and stretch open your left hip and keep your heart lifting here. Beautiful lunge. Sinking the hips down as the heart lifts up. Take a nice breath in. Now, as you exhale, push into your right toe mound and straighten that right leg, lifting the hips up and back. Big hamstring stretch here. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. And as you breathe out, see if you can fold over your thigh and pull your right hip crease back just a little bit more. This is a deep stretch for those of you who want a little more. Pull your toes back towards your right shin, getting deeper into the muscle of the hamstring. Good. And then place the foot down if it was lifted, bend into the knee, and let's walk our hands back, pivot back to the center of your mat, and then slide that left foot in. Come back to your Yogi Squat. So transfer your weight to both feet. Press your palms together. Center them in front of your heart. And use your elbows to widen your knees. Good job, guys. The second round maybe feels a little more accessible. Bring your hands down. Lean to the left. And then extend your right leg all the way out. Balance on the heel and draw the right toes up and back towards you. Skandasana on this side. So you're balancing on the ball of your left foot, your left heel is lifted. Maybe bring the block over to support you in your balance. Maybe lift one hand and then the other. And keep drawing those right toes back. Keep anchoring into your heel and your toes. Just know that if you fall out, it's a wonderful opportunity to get back in and to practice. And that's what this is all about. Good. All right, let's pivot towards the opposite end of the mat. Coming onto the ball of the back foot, heel, toeing the left foot over, bringing the left knee over the left ankle. Now we're really strengthening our back leg here as we press that heel away, lifting your heart, dropping your hips. Try to bring that leg to as straight as possible and just feel the delicious stretch in the front of your right hip. Take a nice breath in here, gaze forward. And as you breathe out, press into your left big toe mound. Bring that leg to straight as you push your hips back and up for your runner's lunge on this side. Walk your hands in underneath the shoulders and press into the finger pads, lift up so you get a nice long spine here.
And as you exhale, keep that length as you fold over your thigh and keep drawing your left hip crease back. Big, big stretch in the hamstrings here. Notice how it feels on this side. You want to add a little fire. Pull those left toes up towards your shin, grounding through that left heel. Big breath in. Woo, and big breath out. Lower the toes down. Walk your fingertips forward and step your right foot up to meet your left. Feet are hips width distance apart. Let's take a generous forward fold here. So big bend in the knees if you need it. Let your head get heavy. Just dangle and fold. You're welcome to grab opposite elbows here if you'd like. Maybe take a little sway from side to side. You might even want to bring your fingertips to the mat and bend into one knee and then the other. Just stretching, toning, maybe finding strength as well. That's really the focus of this class. Good, and then wherever you are, bring yourself to stillness. We're going to interlace our hands behind our skull. Wrap your elbows in close towards your head and just lengthen through the back of the neck. See if you can bring the weight closer to the toes, not so much in the heels, and just feel your back chain getting nice and long. Now root through your feet and roll yourself up, keeping the bind. So slowly stack yourself. Imagine you're a building block and you're building your spine one block at a time as you lift up. And then feel your head on top, over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. Nice, take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, just press the back of the head into the hands and open the elbows wide. Lift up through the center of your chest. Good, now breathe in, wrap the elbows in, tuck your chin to your chest. Try to focus this movement just on the neck and the shoulders. Exhale as you open wide, lifting the gaze, lifting the heart. One more, breathe in, wrap in, feel the stretch in the back of the neck here, chin to chest. And exhale as you breathe out, open wide. Good, come to center, release your arms all the way down, and then circle them towards your heart. Bring your feet underneath your hips. Close your eyes. And let's bring our practice to a close by first just feeling our life force, our energy, prana moving through us. Take a moment to notice how your mind and your body feels after a few moments and a few postures, some conscious breathing. Can you feel how your energy has shifted? Can you feel that lightness of being? And maybe taking this opportunity to set the tone of your day, or calling in some energy that you would like to bring in. As we bring some closure to our practice and elevate it by bringing in a little bit of the spiritual to the physical. Let's drop our chin to our chest to close, honoring the wisdom of the heart. And then lifting the eyes, bringing the thumbs to third eye center, bowing to one another, namaste. Thank you, my sunshine yogis, for joining me. I hope that this felt good. Please feel free to call on it anytime you need to bring a little stretch, tone, and boost to your day. I look forward to seeing you again. Please subscribe, like, and share. Namaste.